Howdy guys, video number 2. Okay, so we're going to continue from that first one. So the cop comes back 6 months later. Everything's kind of not, I wouldn't say back to normal, but you can walk in, you can order things. And he comes back up to the register. And I look at him and I say, remember what I said to you about 6 months ago? And he's like, yeah, you were right. Yeah, I was right. It wasn't me though, it was George Gammon. So, anyhow, whatever. I took George Gammon's advice and luckily he was right. Okay, so, I'm going to continue. Okay, so, going into 2020, the year of the cerveza sickness. George Gammon's continuing to grow all of his followers naturally on YouTube, tens and tens and tens of thousands of views, and he continues producing videos, and he continues to teach people and try to help them out and give them a different perspective than what the news was trying to portray. So he had a different take on things, and that's what I liked, because I want to see perspectives from this side, the middle. I want to know everything, and then I want to be able to make the decision for myself on what I actually believe. At one point, beginning of the cerveza sickness, George Gammon ends up talking to a couple doctors in California. Two of them, one of them owned a hospital for 20 years. The other one had been a doctor for 20 plus years. And they were both doctors that worked together. They were talking about everything that they thought about the cerveza sickness. And they ended up mentioning that if you were to stay inside your house and Lysol everything down, try to kill every single germ, every bacteria out there, you wait in there for 2 months, you order things on Amazon or you order things to be delivered to your house, you wipe everything down as it's outside, and then you think that everything's clean, you bring it in, and then 2 months later you're like, okay, I think we're in the clear, I think it's time to go outside. These doctors mentioned that if that person steps outside in the real world again, now their immune system has not been built up for 2 months because they've been cleaning everything for 2 months straight. So now what's going to happen when you go outside and you see the germs, or when you're around the bacteria that you haven't seen for 2 months? Now you're going to get sicker than you ever were before. So I was like, that's a really interesting point. So not to go out there, the doctors were not trying to encourage people to go out there and try to spread anything or get sick or do dangerous things. They were just trying to mention that maybe there's a little bit of a different story to what everybody thought was going on. And George Gammon really liked this idea, maybe there's something else to this. And one video that he brought up in the beginning was that Dr. Fauci originally said masks do not work. And he had the video posted of exactly Dr. Fauci saying that out of his mouth. Masks don't work. And then 1 month later, Dr. Fauci goes back in front of the entire country and says, everybody needs to be wearing masks in the name of safety. You don't want to kill anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody. You want to keep everybody around you safe. Wear the mask. And George Gammon is saying, I don't know about that. Why would he say no a month ago and then yes now? Well, they questioned Dr. Fauci. Congress grilled him and was like, why did you do that? Why did you claim this originally, and then now you're going back on that claim? And the reason Dr. Fauci gave behind doing this is that he wanted to have enough masks for all the hospitals and all the health departments in the USA to be able to have enough storage and enough PPE, personal protection equipment, available. That way, when it's time for everybody else to wear their masks, the hospitals will already be stocked up. So that's a good reason why he did that. However, what George Gammon was saying was, this doesn't sound right for you to tell everybody no, and then now you tell everybody yes. So which is it? So he's kind of like on the fence about Dr. Fauci. Is this a good guy? Is this a guy who's just, I don't know, maybe there's something else to this story. And then he also makes a video talking about how Bill Gates put a bunch of the money that he had in Pfizer before the medicine went into people. Now, I'm going to write this too, actually. So this is another keyword that I'd like to use so you guys will know what I'm talking about. So, the word vaccines is going to be referred to as medicine instead, just for the video purposes. And I'll explain to you guys in another video on why I'm doing this. So, Bill Gates put a bunch of money in Pfizer because Pfizer was working on a medicine for people. Interesting. How Bill Gates is going to go and tell everybody, you need to wear this, you need to do this, you need to get the medicine. Where'd you put your money? I don't know, but George Gammon seems to be paying attention to all these little key details. So that's why I'm starting to watch George Gammon more and more and more, because I'm like, maybe there is a little bit more to the story that most people don't know about. Okay, so we're going to go forward. At one point, George Gammon posted a video of our president, Joe Biden, explaining that he will never, ever require people to take the medicine. He'll never mandate it. However, 1 year later, 2022, Biden tries to get an executive order signed and have any company in the U.S. that has 100 or more employees to force all the unvaccinated employees to go get tested once per week, and then show the results. And on top of that, they would have to go pay for their own tests. So no government money to pay for the tests, no help. And now this is definitely one big no-no that I'm like thinking, our president says he's not going to do this, and then 1 year later he does. And George Gammon posts those videos, one behind the next, to show that the people up top might say one thing, but then another day it's a different thing. So what is it? Okay, so George Gammon's recording, he's saving everything that has taken place in the last 3 years. And today, August 15th, 2023, George Gammon has about roughly 460,000 followers on his YouTube account. He's been on the Fox Business 4 times in the last 6 months. And this is not something where I'm trying to bring in politics. But what I am saying is that this dude wouldn't have 460,000 followers to this day if he didn't know what he was talking about. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit just to finish up the video because I'm running out of time. So my goal here in these videos is to gather info from all sources possible, condense them using easy to understand language, and helping others to learn about macro and microeconomics, and provide predictions with what I think is going to happen next in the economy, and to try to explain why things are happening today as they do. And I'm going to try to do some extensive research for you guys, watch all the videos of the 10 different people that I follow, and try to make everything very simple and very easy for people to understand, especially if you're not a pro at this kind of stuff. On a side note, I might do a different kind of YouTube channel as well, talking about investments that I'm making or that I would make. I would not recommend people go out and do it, but I'm just going to explain why I'm looking at these companies to invest in and why I think they might do well in the future. And then I'm going to try to gather ideas and offer some opportunities that some people have, or everybody has, to be able to make some money on the side. So a little bit more than your day-to-day job. But for now, I think that is everything I'm going to mention. And I'm going to start getting really serious in the videos to follow. Thanks guys for watching. Just remember though, I'm a regular guy.